today I want to show you how the hands work in the golf swing. So I want to share with you a recent lesson of mine where she had a massive difficulty in slicing the golf ball, okay? And we saw in particular that her club path was a long way across the golf ball, okay? So just to be clear with that, she's coming from out to in about 15 degrees, which is a huge number, okay? And what that causes, it causes the path to come across it. It causes you to largely curve the golf ball left to right. It causes you to pull the ball straight to the left, again for a right-handed golfer. And the way we tackled it was not necessarily focusing on the path, because I think that's where a lot of us go wrong, okay? A lot of us, as soon as we're slicing the ball, we're so eager to try and swing from the inside and fix that over the top move, where actually the root cause lied in the club face, okay? So most of you should know now that a slice comes from an open club face. So yes, the over the top move was in there, but that was more a result of what the club face was doing, okay? And as we went through the process, we looked at her grip, which was in a neutral position. Sometimes some of you may get a little bit weak in the grip that causes that face to be open. But one thing she was struggling with was how the hands work and how they affected the club face through the ball, okay? And what we explained was the release, okay? So the release is essentially from halfway down to halfway through. And what should happen with a pretty neutral grip is that as we come through, the right arm and the right wrist and the hand naturally rolls over the left as we swing through the ball, okay? So you can see here that as I swing through the ball there, that the toe of the club should be pointing straight up, okay? So what we did originally was to try and exaggerate this feeling, okay? So I would say most of you that are working on stuff, I would always try and exaggerate it, okay? I feel that if guys exaggerate what they're trying to work on, you can always come back rather than never doing it enough. So what we said was that as we come down into the golf ball, we really want to get that sensation of the hands closing the club face as we're coming through here. So what she was doing is, as she's coming across it, that face was a long way open, and the right arm was very much under the left arm, okay? So we get this sort of dreaded kind of chicken wing effect, if you like, here, where there's no real release. It's very held off. And what we tried to do is just to explain that as we come through, this naturally releases off, and to a point where, you know, at the start she was doing it, but it was far too late. So we had to try and get that feeling earlier in the downswing. So from this halfway down position, letting those hands release that club head, get that sensation of that club face squaring. What we found was that she gained 30 yards, okay, with no extra club speed, okay? So we're always looking for more club head speed to get more distance, but for her, because the club face was so open as she was coming into the ball, that ball was just popping up, slicing, no real distance. And as soon as we started to get the release in there, so here, you know, just finding that release point here where that hands are closing that face off, she gained, as I said, about 30 yards. The surprising thing was her path went from -15 to -3, okay? So she was coming across the ball 15 degrees, and then all of a sudden it became 3 degrees without even thinking about it. So it shows that our body and our swing is going to react to what this club face is doing, okay? So in this case it's about the slicer, but also even for other faults, you know, even guys that hook the ball, I want you to think about, you know, if you're hooking it, more than likely that club face is closed. So tackle that club face first. That was a big success story in one of my recent lessons. Hope you found it useful. Hopefully you can relate to it. If you do have any questions, please post some comments down below. Look forward to seeing you again very soon.